What fun to have our visiting guest, Chef Sophia, teach us to make hand-rolled Pici Pasta in our own kitchen at Blessings on State Bed and Breakfast. She started with 2 main ingredients, water and flour.
You're not putting any egg in though, since it's pasta, there's no egg.
Yeah, there's different kinds of doughs. So you have your egg-based doughs, and then you have doughs that are rich like with olive oil, which I actually realize we don't have out yet.
It's behind you on the counter.
Oh, okay, sweet. But I like working with this dough just because it's a little bit easier to work with than your dough that's made with eggs.
So did you measure out a certain amount of flour?
Yes, it was 300 grams, roughly like 2 cups.
Tablespoon of oil?
2 tablespoons.
Pardon?
2 tablespoons roughly?
2 tablespoons. And how much water did you use?
150 milliliters, so 2/3 of a cup.
And is all of your thought process as a chef in... Because truly, I was looking at that King Arthur deal.
Yeah.
With their cooking classes, and it tells you what to have in advance, and so it has to translate into my way of thinking with the cups and the tablespoons and the +2 and the -1 and whatever to try to make it, because I don't weigh ingredients.
Yeah, we just get used to weighing them, but sometimes it's not necessary. I don't know. I guess if you really know a dough by sight, you don't have to.
Is this something you make fairly frequently?
Pretty frequently. Yeah.
And does the color of the oil change the color of the pasta?
Not much unless you have it like infused with something. You can do like an herb infused oil, and then it's going to alter it a little.
So you're not kneading that a whole lot.
Well, we start out by bringing it together, and then we knead it.
You're just combining it.
We want the moisture to be evenly distributed. Otherwise, you're gonna have like a weird kind of dough. And sometimes it may need more, you know? Dough is one of those things that changes like someone's mood with the weather.
When you do it often enough, you know what it should feel like.
Yeah. I'm currently dating an Italian, so I get a lot of practice in. You know, to make sure that the pasta cake stays strong. Yeah, it's approved though, so
that's good.
It's my biggest accomplishment to date. I actually taught him how to make pasta, and he grew up outside of Milan, so
wow.
I was, greatest accomplishment of my life.
We have a chef in town at the Little Stove who has studied in Italy, and sometimes I think prepares his own pasta, and I know that Joe at Proud Richards has prepared his own pasta. But it's so time consuming that by the time you're chefing for the whole restaurant and getting things done, it's a lot of extra steps to do that, I think.
Do the extra pasta? It just depends on how you're set up. I mean, it does take time. Being in a car together.
2 20-somethings road tripping.
Road tripping, and we packed all of my stuff.
The West Coast to Atlanta.
Yep. We packed all of my stuff into my little Subaru Crosstrek. I fit my whole life into there. Well, I got rid of a ton of stuff. Nothing that was related to cooking, so my friend did want to kill me a little bit. She was like, you need stuff besides kitchen utensils. I was like, I don't. Everything else can be replaced.
Things that are important.
Yeah, so we...
You know your priorities.
We drove through, we went down to Utah, we went to New Mexico, and I thought I booked a place in Santa Fe, and I messed up the booking. And I booked an Airbnb in a small town, like an hour outside in the mountains of New Mexico. And we drove through the desert to get there. And when we got there, there's this road and the sun was like setting. And it was like all these beautiful colors, but we had 0 cell service. And we were like, no, we messed up. Like, we don't really know what we're doing.
You were very remote.
You were very remote. So we like drove, we were trying to get to the town, and we realized that when we got to the address, it was a town with 5 buildings.
Wow.
And so, and our little house was our Airbnb, and the 2 of us were sitting there, and we were like, she just looked at me quiet and talking to people and hearing their stories.
That's why I think traveling in bed and breakfast is so fun, because when you stay in a B&B, when it's a full-service B&B, you typically meet the host and you find out from them what their favorite restaurants are, and I get to know people from all over everywhere.
Do you want to come introduce yourself on the live, or
different walks of life?
All right, so this is one of my lovely bed and breakfast hosts. We met last night, and she's letting me use her kitchen to make Pici. So we're making pasta. We actually took a little grocery shopping trip and everything, so that's been fun.
This is so exciting. Yes, it's wonderful.
We like meeting people and cooking with them, so I'm enjoying it.
It's fun because we get to share our community, not just the grocery store, but our community with people. I have guests that we've taken to the pumpkin farm or the mum gardens or whatever. And it's great fun. And then everybody's got their own skills and their own interests, and it's so much fun to learn about people.
Yeah.
And where they've been. I loved your road trip story. The 20-somethings, young 20-somethings, cross-country trip in it.
We didn't rent a car, it would have been too expensive. So when you don't cook your pasta all the way and you add the pasta water to the pan, you essentially create emulsification, and it coats the pasta much more easily. Because when you just like strain your pasta into a colander and then add it, you miss out on like everything that binds the sauce to the pasta.
Good to know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna toss this in some flour so it doesn't stick later on when we go to move it into the pot. Because we spend so much time, rolling it by hand, it would be a shame to like ruin it at this point.
Have it all stuck together.
And try to spread it out. It shouldn't stick.
Once the Pici was prepared, Sophia started her sauce with shallots, garlic, and olive oil. She added sun-dried tomatoes and baby spinach and then sprinkled it with Parmesan before serving.
Thanks. We need smell-o-vision. This is so good.
And there you have it, hand-rolled Pici pasta in a lovely sauce with thanks to our guest, Chef Sophia.